out of here before they start tearing down. So we don't know exactly what we're going to hear from Hillary Clinton, but we know that we have a window of an hour or so before people start having to leave here.
So there aren't any surrogates at all wandering around, Deanna? When's the last time you saw people like Donna Brazile or anybody from the campaign or the DNC walking around?
When you saw them with me on air.
Really?
Yeah. They were quick to leave. Donna Brazile, it seemed as if she had sort of already starting to get an inkling of concern, and she had told us that she had spoken to the Hillary Clinton camp earlier, but hadn't had any specific updates. I think we were sort of feeding her the latest numbers and polls coming out that she was just getting wind up as well. But as of the last hour or two, we haven't seen anybody here even walking the ground.
Okay, Deanna, well, we'll obviously be checking back in with you as soon, and please give us a heads up when you see that Hillary Clinton herself may be coming out. Very, very tough night for her.
Yeah.
You can only imagine the emotions that are going on. Thanks, Deanna.
Thanks.
We'll talk to you in a moment. I mean, this is a really, really difficult undertaking for Hillary Clinton. She has to call Donald Trump and congratulate him. And then has to come out and give a concession speech. And Jamal mentioned, at the inauguration, we'll see Barack Obama and Donald Trump on the same stage.
Riding in the limo together, right?
Well, and before that, Donald Trump gets to come to the White House for a tour of the Oval.
What do you think that's like, Jamal? Do you think we're going to see, is there going to be a traditional transition? Or
Yes.
You do
Barack Obama is straight up and down sort of person. I think he will do what the Constitution and the public expects.
Right. But can I just say, awkward?
Yeah, right.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, those two, when there was that big special on PBS, did a great documentary called The Choice, where they really traced Donald Trump's political evolution from childhood as well, or, his life as a businessman, and Hillary Clinton's evolution from childhood. And they started the documentary with that scene from the 2011 White House Correspondents' Dinner when President Obama mocked Donald Trump and how he was not amused at all. And that sort of, that set that created a situation where the two were really mortal enemies, right?
It's so visceral, and it has to do, of course, with Donald Trump accusing
with the
president of
birther
not being born here. And a funny story about the White House Correspondents'
That was 2011, right?
Yeah, and the president is so... Jamal and I have talked about the fact that the president was much more eager to go out and campaign because it was Donald Trump. Like, it's not in his DNA. He wouldn't have been so excited to campaign for Hillary Clinton, but he loved campaigning against Donald Trump. And a congressman who was in the limo with the president told me that the president was reprising his best jokes from the Correspondents' Dinner. He was so proud of himself. He's still telling those jokes, and he was so mad at Trump. It's so personal. One of the great lines of this cycle, Jake Tapper said that one of the greatest deals Donald Trump has ever gotten is living rent-free in the president's head.
That's pretty good.
Trying to look at this from the point of view of the rest of the world, they're going to see they see Donald Trump as an expression of American culture, boastful, bullying, coarse, crude. That's the way they're going to see America. So
ugly Americans.
Ugly
right?
Americans. I mean, that phrase has been around since the 1950s, but it's going to be on steroids now. So it does seem to me, we spent a lot of time speculating, would Trump lose graciously? Would Trump lose graciously? Now the question is going to be, do Hillary and Obama lose graciously? And it's going to be a testing moment.
But isn't it also, will Trump win graciously, Evan?
I don't think Trump does anything graciously.
I was going to say, what chance there is that?
But I don't, we're such untested. We're just making it up here because we have no idea. So inconceivable that he could be president.
I mean, that's one thing he has been is pretty unpredictable, right? Wouldn't you say? I mean, I guess you could argue either way, right?
Predictable, unpredictable, yeah.
One thing that is different that I think most people who know President Obama have sort of thought of him as riding off into the sunset after the transfer of power in January of 2017, maybe he focuses on his Men and Boys in Color initiative, writes some books, gives some speeches, helps settle some global hotspot, negotiations, but kind of goes away from the political scene. This may, in fact, reinvigorate Barack Obama as a political figure to stay involved with domestic politics in a way that I'm sure he didn't think about.
But what's tricky is that you would think this would unite everybody against Trump, but really not such a great thing for the country right now.
No, I think
if the effect of President Trump is to unite everybody against him, that's not a great moment for us. We have to find a way to somehow support. I mean, I'm having trouble expressing the words, but we have to find a way to support him.
I think Barack Obama is one of those people Googling Canada immigration right about now. I don't think he wants any part of this.
So what happens to Hillary Clinton?
Happens to Hillary Clinton?
Silent.
There's not another campaign. I can pretty much promise you that.
Yeah.
She and President Bill Clinton Netflixing, right? Like, quality time together.
No, I think she'll probably. Don't you think she'll recommit to women and children and families and kind of go back to her roots with the Children's Defense Fund? Or,
I don't know.
And you know what?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But Katie,
Trump has threatened to put her in jail, so it's.
No, but
Well, what
the reason
about-
I love
yeah.
Katie's idea, and I hadn't thought about that. But if you
Maybe she'd
think
run
about-
the Children's Defense Fund.
Yes. You think about the very early research about her. She was popular when she left as Secretary of State. She only becomes unpopular when she's seen as a politician. And so the reverse is true, that she will become more popular and possibly even heroic when she's not a politician. That's what people hate, right? And that's what dials up that distrust.
I was thinking about
they
her
found to be a
approval
feminist
rating.
icon.
I was thinking about her approval ratings when she left Secretary of State.
They were both popular. She and President Clinton were both popular. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a lot. It's really a lot to take in, isn't it?
We're free associating here, but it's really free associating because there is no script for this. There's nothing like this has happened in American history. Not even close.
All right, let's go to Stephanie Tsai, who, as we've been checking in all night at Donald Trump headquarters, and there's some Secret Service activity, I understand, Stephanie. So you think...
I was talking to our national correspondent, Hunter Walker, earlier, and we were both noticing movement just in the last 45 minutes. First of all, Hunter believes that Mr. Trump has already moved to the Hilton Midtown here, and whether his family is on the way, I do believe that based on the number of Secret Service we're moving through the crowd, based on the fact that his top surrogates have all lined up in front of the stage, and just the crowd, there's generally sort of a hush on the crowd as if they're waiting any moment for Donald Trump to come out. Fox News did call Pennsylvania for Trump based on 97% of precincts reporting. A big roar came out from the crowd, and you can kind of hear chants. You can actually learn a lot from those chants. For example, earlier there was a small group of Trump supporters saying, "Comey, Comey," and I think as we sort of do the postmortem of this election, a lot of people will wonder whether James Comey's insertion into this election did play a role in the outcome here, which even the Trump surrogates said was unexpected. Katie?
Apparently, James Comey was spotted at a Mexican restaurant in McLean, Virginia, drinking a big margarita on Sunday night.
I bet he was.
After he made that, I guess, or wrote that letter saying that there was nothing new in those emails.
Katie, can we pick up on the idea that from the Hillary headquarters of the inkling and the comment about Donna Brazil and Jamal? I'd love to hear what you're getting on your text or email.
That's when Arizona.
How surprised Hillary Clinton is? Did they have any idea this was coming? And Jamal and I were whispering, to give Katie some more FOMO, we're whispering about the president's defensive travel schedule, like the last day in Michigan, New Hampshire, and then Philadelphia.